Hey, I'm Lisa Singer, and welcome to Media Post Brand Insider BTS, where I get to pull back the curtain on some of the most influential women marketers today. And with me, I am talking with Sarah Leinberger, and she is the VP and Head of Marketing at Yoobi. Hey, Sarah.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited. So the last time we hung out was in Santa Barbara, CPG Summit, and now here you are, Yoobi. You've been there, what, like 5 months, I think, 5 or 6 months?
Yeah. Yep, that's right.
So awesome. Congratulations. That is such an amazing, it sounds like an awesome job just from what I do my snooping and everything I'm seeing on LinkedIn. It just from knowing you from Santa Barbara, it seems like such a perfect fit for you.
It is such an amazing company to be part of a purpose-based brand is so giving every single day. It's just you can show up and feel really, really good. And then the pens that I have sitting on my desk have
I love the
definitely
purple.
they've gotten a lot cooler since I started this job. But yes, to see the impact that we're having across the world and to have such fun products and see it all come to life right now in the midst of back to school has been really, really fun.
Yeah, I know. I mean, just from even looking at it, just again, just sort of researching you and the company, and so you basically you donate an item for every
Yeah.
whatever particular purchase, but as long as it's one part of the that is qualified to be donated.
Yes.
That's an amazing thing, and you guys have done. I mean, before we get into you, it's just worth noting you guys have given a lot away to so many different students and so many organizations. Share a little of that.
Yeah, so we work with the Kids in Need Foundation. So for every product purchased, we give to a student in need. And so we've donated over 98 million items to students across the country. And so we feel really, really good about the work that we're doing. We've also launched another brand actually called Altitude that is very social sustainability committed as well. And so we've got both within our portfolio. We're continuing to grow. We've got plans for other great things that we hope to do. And so really, really proud of the work that we do here.
Yeah, well, you should be, and I think it's awesome. And just kids that age especially, they need a good start. That's really, I mean, we know it, what would ours, you remember, I'm sure, when you were that age, when you were in elementary school, and just how much that impacted you. And that's sort of where I want to go with my first question is because you did post on LinkedIn that you believe school supplies can spark confidence, creativity, and joy in the classroom. So I want to turn that on you. And so when you were in the classroom, who sparked the confidence you have to get to the level you are? VP, I mean, that's amazing, but you needed confidence to get there. Where did that start from?
You know, I'm so grateful for the amazing teachers that I had throughout my journey. And teachers, of course, make such a huge impact for every single one of us. So I had one particular teacher that I think just believed in me from the start. So my fourth grade teacher, Ms. Rich, shout out to Ms. Rich, was
Rich?
someone, yeah, who just I think really saw me for who I was and believed in who I could be. And so I think it's such a powerful tool when someone believes in you and what that can unlock for you. I grew up in a very, very small town in North Dakota. And to have the opportunities and to grow, I just feel so, so grateful for and grateful for people that believed in me along the way. And so that's too, again, back to the UB mission. So much of what we do, so many teachers give their time, money, energy, resources to make the classroom the best that it can be. And so we also know that what we do for the children has an impact on the teachers and allows them to focus on other things that they've got so many things always to be thinking about and worrying, and so to have the supplies that they need in the classroom, we hope is one less stress for them as well.
Yeah, and it just gives them a tool to help be more creative with the students and give them those opportunities instead of having to, makeshift with whatever else
Yeah.
they can provide. And going into that, because UB is all about creativity. And so what was your creative output back in high school? Like I have a poem, I could even recite it still, and it hung on the wall. Like, so mine was through my writing. Was yours through writing, drawing,
Yeah.
singing? What was it?
Yeah. I did all of the typical singing, dancing, art, etc. Nothing of amazing, ability, but I loved it all. And the piece that actually was really uniquely me is I always loved storytelling and creating and sharing moments. So that came for me through photography. When I was a younger kid, I always used to pretend that I was a TV host. And of course, back in the day, I had that huge, camcorder that I'd bring around and drag around and create hours of video, of which I'm sure nobody watched except for my mom. But that was really,
That.
that was fun for me to be able to kind of create that story for others to participate in. And so that was something that I really like to do.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. And what a great segue. Speaking of video, so you guys recently launched a Smiley World collection. So you have a partnership with Smiley World. And but there's a video that I loved watching. It's so fun and colorful and all the kids. But there's one shot of this little girl whispering to her assumingly best friend something. And of course, we don't know what it is. Put you in that spot.
Yeah.
You were that little girl and whispering to your best friend. What were you most likely to be talking about or
This is
whispering about?
This is very nerdy. This is very nerdy. So when I was in the whispering and note passing, so all the intricate note passing that used to
Of
happen back in the
course.
day prior to cell phones, my best friend, her name was Rachel Clemens, she and I
Rachel.
loved cats, believe it or not. So everything we did, and when we passed notes and we would go to town, like everything was very focused on cats and cat magazines and all the nerdy stuff. Like back, we loved animals, cats in particular. And so my very nerdy answer to that question is it's not boys, it's not music, it's cats, which I don't
Well,
even have a cat today.
but still, first of all, loving animals and talking about animals, not nerdy at all, at least in my book. So I love that. But so we were drawing cats. Like, was there some, whether they were good pictures of cats, they could be stick cats, but that was part of your creativity as well.
Oh, like just studying cats. So yes, to the fact of that cats and animals are not dirty at all. Like our obsession about learning about cats and cat breeds. Like we weren't breeders. Like I said, we maybe had some farm cats that came and went, but I think, some kids really get into dinosaurs and stuff like that. That was cats for us.
You were cats. All right. Well, again, anything about animals, I was probably would be me whispering about a dog. So I totally get that. Well, all right. So when people first meet you, what do they get wrong about you? And maybe later when they see you, they say, "You're not this way at all."
Interesting. So I think I'm an observer. So often when I walk into a room, I'm trying to pick up, kind of what's going on and what the vibe is and who people are. And so I've been told at times I can first appear quiet or, reserved. And I'm not at all. It's just I think that initial instinct of me just to kind of see what's going on. And then I'm usually pretty silly and like to make inside jokes and have kind of, uh silly things going on. And so I'm not serious at all. In fact, I'm pretty just messy in me.
Yeah. Well, no, and I get that because even when I first met you in Santa Barbara, and like when I did a little interview that we were doing, not obviously like this, but I remember because you're very impressive. Like just speaking about the work that you were doing and just the way you came across, very poised. And so I could see that sort of, being like, okay, do I joke with her? Do I not? And then as I got to know you more so, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, and so I get that. Like, it's also settings, but also as you said, I tend to be an observer as well, like to kind of feel out the room. So that can really come across, especially when they see you then so confident with
Mm,
other things.
yeah, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
yeah, no, okay. So getting back to your LinkedIn in the about section, you wrote that I thrive in entrepreneurial environments where I can solve complex problems. You actually compared yourself to a Swiss Army knife, which I'm assuming that you can do a lot of different things, wear a lot of different hats. So again, I want to put it back to you personally. Was there a challenge that you faced or an issue within your career, but personally within your career? That you had to really plow through and get through, and how were you able to?
Yeah, it's super interesting. I have a really diverse background where I've done marketing, I've done branding, I've done merchandising, I've done HR and transformation work, and so I always knew about myself. I liked strategy, I liked studying people, and it came through in different ways. And so throughout my career, I would have leaders kind of ask me like, "What do you want to aspire to next? What's that role? What do you want to do?" And often I'm actually in spaces where it either doesn't exist quite yet, or it's changing, or there's transformation associated with it. And so it took me some time in my career just to figure out that if I was just following my passions and being authentically myself, that it would unfold and I could worry less about being perfectly a certain way, or meeting a specific job description, etc. But it was really hard when I was younger within my career. I was like, gosh, why can't I figure out what the exact title is that I want to be in 10 years? And so I reflect a lot on that and share that with other people too that are more junior within their career, that if you're following your passions, you really can't go wrong,
Mhm.
even if there's not a job description that exists for that today.
Well, would you recommend, even as you said, the job description maybe didn't exist,
Mhm.
and it seems like you kind of created it. Like,
Yes.
do you recommend doing that? I mean, to a point, you're not going to suddenly just go off the
Yeah.
rail, but
Yeah.
in general, show the powers that be what you're capable of, and if you're passionate
Yeah.
about it, you're going to be good. You're going to be good.
Yes, and I think that actually, when I was able to tell that story about what my superpowers are and what really gets me excited, the next roles would just kind of authentically come to me, and it would be such an amazing fit. And so yes, 100%. I think if you're constantly kind of communicating what you love to the leaders and the mentors within your life, it becomes so much easier to kind of create a path even if there isn't one.
Yeah, talk about it, and once you put it out there, as they say,
Yeah.
put it out into the world, and then it can happen.
Yeah.
No, I agree. That's such great advice. Well, so getting back to Yoobi, and basically, and again, in your LinkedIn post, you wrote spreading smiles one school supply at a time. All right, so I love that, and that's a great expression. But I want to ask, what spreads a smile to you? So in
Mm,
your day, maybe it's a bad day, maybe it's, ugh, and but what gets you every time during
yeah.
the day that just puts a smile on your face?
Yep. I've got 2 girls who are 6 and 9, so of course, any time with them is always magical. I think the part that, most recently, has just been really energy giving for me is when I see them show up in a way that is thoughtful or giving, or just being a good human to others, and knowing that that's the humans that they are becoming. So that for me is just, as a mom, there's the everyday challenges and struggles, and you're going from point A to point B, and to at the end of the day, hope that you're making a good human at the end of the day. Like there's nothing more fulfilling than that.
Yeah. Well, and you watch, because two little girls, so you must see a lot of yourself, or it bring you back a lot to when you were their age. And is there something you want to say to them that maybe you were struggling with back then, or just excited about anything
Yeah.
that would be a great word of wisdom that you wish maybe someone shared with you back then? Not that you would probably
Yeah.
take it, but it would
Yeah,
be good to know.
well, that's part of the struggle. I think it's pretty cliche, but it is something that I've had to work most of my adult life on, and it's truly just be yourself and find the circles and the people where you can truly be yourself. I think again, kind of going back to trying to fit a mold or fit a job description, I so long wanted to kind of be that perfect corporate citizen, or be what they wanted me to be, versus I think sometimes just really embracing the places where I was unique, or I maybe had a different superpower, and really leaning into that earlier. And so that with my girls, and with anyone too that I'm coaching or mentoring, I think it is so important and so hard, and to the point of, you can tell somebody that, but you really have to believe in them, that that is who they will best be, so that they can feel that too, I think.
Yeah, I do. And I think especially when you're younger, and I'm not talking your daughter's age, but even someone just starting out, and you can maybe see where they shine, and you can pass that on to them, let them know. But until they believe it, they're
Mhm.
not going to really strive that way. They're not going to say, "All right, I'm going to take those chances." How do you get them to realize that?
Yeah. When I'm creating teams, I think the idea of psychological safety is really important. So having people feel like they can show up, fail, be messy, imperfect, celebrate that with them, find those opportunities to celebrate when they are kind of stepping into that light, I think is really, really important. And then honestly, with like friends and broader groups, we will literally say out loud. I was at a dinner with a girlfriend the other day, and I was exhausted, and she had, some family medical stuff going on. And we were just sitting there a little bleak, and we said out loud, this is us. We're here, and I'm happy to be with you, and this is how I am, and I understand how you are, and isn't it great that we can just be here and be imperfect together? And finding those circles again where you can just have that authentic relationship with people, I think is really important.
Well, I love that. I mean, because I don't think we say it enough. I mean, I think we say more good things to our friends that we should be saying to ourselves. I do
Yes.
agree women do that. But to actually, you enjoy each other, but I don't know that everyone always says what you're thinking, in the sense
Oh,
that
yeah.
you might. So I think that's wonderful that you guys were able to share that. So you should,
Yeah. Thank you.
I need to try to do that myself. Like I'll go back home and I'll be like, oh, it was so fun. And I let them know, but it's like a text. I had such a best time, but to really say it and be there and be present. I think
Mhm.
that's amazing. So,
Yeah.
all right. So I again with you do a lot of LinkedIn posting, so I had a lot to read, and you had wrote that Snoopy plus school supplies equals you said instant joy, and you mentioned that it's a cute collab, and
Yeah.
so and yeah, and obviously it is. You can't go wrong with Snoopy. I mean, ever. So, but I want to ask you just about collaborations in general within the marketing industry.
Mhm.
Not anything that you've been a part of, not at Yoobi, but has there been a collaboration that you really thought was brilliant between a particular
Yeah.
product and brand or
Yeah.
whatnot?
I'm a sucker for anything experiential. So when I saw the Airbnb and Barbie back in the day, the dream house, I thought that was phenomenal. So to bring that to the consumers in a way where they could actually experience that, just so talkable, just really, really cool. And so that was really cool for me. I'm excited too about the Lego and Nike collaboration happening as well, and some of the promise for some of the experiential work that will happen there too. So those are just a couple examples that I think are really cool.
Yeah, I think that, and not to get into the marketing side of things, but people want experiences, like it's just like I think that that's why it's become so much more relevant today with, and we're seeing much more experiential marketing. What are experiences that, an experience that you've maybe had recently that just was like amazing and not in work or it could be work related, but on the personal side that you've had and it just really stands out to you?
Let's see here. So one thing I will say, that is just mind-boggling every single time. Well, every single time. I've been to the Cannes Lion Festival twice now.
Hmm.
Um, and the way that all of the different agencies and brands create their experiences on the beach there is just phenomenal. The thoughtfulness that goes into every single detail, the ability to find and connect with people to bring your brand to life in a way that is really meaningful in that moment for whatever people need. I think is something I always am in awe at how beautifully done that is. And the fact that it goes up and comes down in a matter of days is just insane to me. And so the people who work on that, I just have so much respect for. Like what a cool experience and so much work, I'm sure, in just a matter of days.
Yeah. Were you able, so now getting to just how you felt about, I mean, you were impressed, but
Mhm.
just what did it mean being a part of that? Like, I mean, because being at can, they keep
Yeah, yeah,
switching,
yeah.
but being there and just experiencing so many different people together and being able to just share similar challenges or
Yes.
wonderful things or whatever in such a beautiful setting. What is that experience? What did it mean to you?
It's such an honor to be among such incredible people, first and foremost. But what again, kind of in my journey and within my career, I think what's so fascinating is so much of marketing is about humans and the energy exchange of humans. So whether that's between a brand and a consumer, people creating the work, or just the network of people within marketing, like there is an energy and a buzz at Can that just can't be replicated. And so amazing to be there and just to be surrounded by incredible people. But truly, the energy there is it lasts a whole year until you get to go again, and so the connections and everything is just so life-giving.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I just, if you sort of get high off it, and it energizes you. When you leave, you're ready to just do so much more, I think. When you have that kind of energy together and supporting you and just supporting others, I think that helps me as well. It just makes you say, okay, now I can do this.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, okay, so I'm very jealous that you were at Cannes and didn't invite me, but we'll overlook that right now.
Next year we'll start planning.
I can fit in suitcases. So, Okay, what is something, maybe it's inconsequential, but something small that most people don't know about? Something that small that you do that most people don't know about?
I think kind of along the same lines of the creating community and some of the connections and some of the silliness. I'm a master of like the inside joke and the creating the text string and the planning the random outing. I started a fun club here with some of my friends. Like just finding those silly little ways to connect and bring people together is something that I find a lot of joy in. And even when I try not to, and I try to take things off of my plate, it's something that just naturally I end up doing and feeling some time and energy doing.
Yeah, I love that. Well, all right, I have to ask, what's the fun club?
Fun club. So we try to find like just really unique things to do that you wouldn't do otherwise. It's stuff that you probably don't bring your kids to. It's thing. So for example, one of the things that we did recently was sauna cold plunge out on a frozen lake in Minnesota. And so
Mm.
again, like an amazing experience, something that was so incredible to be a part of. But you wouldn't bring your kids there. You probably wouldn't go by yourself. And as an adult, it's hard, honestly, to kind of find that time to get together with your friends and do that stuff. And so just trying to get more of that more regularly on the calendar.
Wow, though you did the cold plunge? I mean, seriously, was it
It was
horrible?
amazing,
Really?
honestly, like so zen afterwards. It was such an incredible experience. Yeah. And it's not something I do like I know some people kind of do that in gyms and whatnot. I had not done it, and so it was incredible.
Wow, that is, I mean, because it's something I hate being cold and just the idea of it, but you hear how it just really is reinvigorating. So
Yeah.
good to know.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm jumping in a lake anytime, cold lake anytime soon, but maybe I'll try because when you see, as you mentioned, like in gyms, they have the cold
Yeah.
plunges and
Hmm.
thermo what,
Yes.
and I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, no, that's not really, but maybe I'll consider it if
I'd
if
highly recommend. I mean, it was amazing. Yeah.
yeah, all right, sounds good. Okay, so what are you most obsessed with right now? What's your guilty pleasure?
Well, my guilty pleasure, I would say, is usually like travel hacking. So finding the deals, finding the points, finding all the ways to kind of create those memories and experiences, either for my family or for friends, etc. And so I'm constantly out there. And now, of course, with the help of AI and some of those pieces, it's like my hobby, I would say, is just watching for travel deals.
Okay, very cool. But how about just on a, going home and is there a guilty pleasure like maybe you read a certain book or you have some Haagen-Dazs or whatever it may be. Like just there's
Yeah.
something that, okay, I'm gonna do this, maybe close the door, no one's gonna see them finishing the whole pizza by myself, what
Uh, totally. Well, my very random guilty pleasure is I buy Trader Joe's dill pickle seasoning by like the multiple bottles. It's only sold once per year. So when it was being sold in June or so, I went in and I bought over 10 bottles, and my daughters were fairly embarrassed that I was taking so many off of the shelf, but putting it on popcorn is amazing, salmon, but highly recommend next summer, your Trader Joe
I've
dill
missed
pickle
it this
seasoning.
year. Okay, so I
Mhm,
have
yeah,
to
it's gone
wait.
this year. Yep, limited time only, but it will be back next year.
All right, well, I'll have to try that because I actually dill pickles are really the only pickles I like. Like I'm not a big pickle, but I
Yeah,
do like dill pickles. So
yes, very good.
I will have to test it out. I don't know if they'll buy 10 bottles, but
I know. Well, I mean, who really needs 10 bottles? I guess I do, but
that's awesome. Okay, well, so speaking of Cannes, you were there, and there's a photo of you on LinkedIn on stage, and behind it, it reads "Own the Dream" behind the campaign. So that's the sign that's behind you.
Mhm.
So, not for a campaign, but for you personally, what dream did you have when you were younger that you've achieved?
Yeah. Honestly, I think being able so my story that I shared with you earlier, I think the fact that I have always wanted to be able to share and tell stories with other people. And here I am being able to share stories with others through podcasts, when I'm able to speak on stages, being able to share with mentor or mentees or other people that I'm coaching, has been something that, I don't think I would have ever been able to even dream as a kid. I didn't know that stuff like this would exist or that this kind of stuff was possible. But It gives me so much energy to be able to be with people and to share ideas. I get so much learning from being able to immerse myself more broadly in the industry and talk with people too. And so I am living my dream right now, Lisa. So thank you
Wow.
for helping bring it to life.
I'm so happy to be able to be a part of that. That's awesome. So I think that's wonderful. And I just want to ask you one more question. So speaking of dreams, and that's a big dream, and you probably have other big dreams for, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever. What's your daily win? What,
Ooh.
when at the end of the day, when you go to sleep, you're like, that was a good day because this happened.
I'll give you two. One, I think professionally, my win is when I can help bring a new idea to life and kind of challenge the status quo within that. I think I love building and trying and creating new things. And so when I get to do that, it gives me so much energy. And so that is really fun personally. And my challenge as a mom is being present when I am not doing those things and making sure that I can just truly shut off the rest of anything and be in the moment with my kids, with my friends, with my family, whatever, and making sure that I can create that mind space appropriately. So that's my daily challenge. But when I get to do that, it's very important to me.
Yeah, no, and that sounds awesome. And I speak with a lot of moms, and they have similar dreams or, wanting to be able to achieve. How do you, and I've heard different answers. Do you have to compartmentalize things? Like when you're at work, you're there. When you're at
Yep.
home, you're there. Or does it bleed out? Like, how do you make it work? So again, it's not, like that balance everyone says, or at least I keep hearing that. It's not about balance. It's about making it work and making it
Yeah.
to the next point.
Yep.
What's
Yeah. Uh, I am very imperfect, but I do think technology is a blessing and a curse. A blessing in that you can be on all of the time if you want to be, but you can also turn it off now pretty well when you don't want to be constantly connected to all of the other things at once. And so it's not very sophisticated, but I will say, like, some of the ability to turn off certain notifications on my phone or when I'm on my computer, turning off alerts that I have new emails coming in, etc. Um, because when I'm with my kids, I want to try to turn my brain off from the professional stuff as much as possible. And then, when I'm at work, just making sure, you've always got the messages from the PTO or the text string with the other thing going on. And so, trying to keep that stuff on only when I need it, I think has been my biggest focus lately.
Yeah, no, that sounds perfect. Although now they can cross over a little bit considering you have these fun pens and all these little, fun
I know it's
activities.
all in one now, but it's so much more fun. I will say watching and seeing my kids go through the Target aisle back to school shopping and seeing our product and them get excited about it. They got excited too. They were watching other kids shopping Yoobi product and they're like, "Mom, we're getting it." It was like so fun for them too. So yeah, back to school kind of took on a whole new meaning this year, which was really fun.
Oh, I love that. Well, all the best. I mean, like I said, congratulations. I think it's amazing. Such a wonderful new gig for you and well deserved. And just thank you so much for sharing with me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for making my dreams come true.
Yes, always. I'm happy to do that for you, Sarah. And thank you for watching. As I always say, if you have impressive marketing woman in your life and you want me to to pull the curtain back on, please let me know and I'll do my best. So thanks for watching. And again, thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.